You know, it sure would be nice to have a place to charge my phone on here. So at one point I did have a USB power supply. It was mounted like right around here. I got it on procycle.com. And it's kind of expensive, like $30. And then one day it just quit working. So I picked up another USB charger on Amazon. This one was about $16. Comes with some zip ties, warranty card. So this uses what's called an SAE connector. It's the same kind of connector you would use for a battery tender. It doesn't actually come with a harness that you hook up to your battery and you plug this into. It's only like $5 extra, and I already have one on my bike installed. And then of course it comes with a handy handlebar mounting bracket. It just unclips and slides off. This does seem a little bit cheap, and I'm actually not going to be using this. I'm going to be mounting it in a different way. It's got a rubber cover. It covers the single USB port. And what's different about this is that it actually has a built-in voltage meter, which is pretty cool, and an on and off switch. So it didn't exactly say in the description, but this thing does seem to be somewhat water resistant. It's got a little rubber covering around the button there, and of course it's got the cover around the USB port. Probably couldn't be submerged in water, but it might be able to handle some rain. I guess we'll find out. Enough talking, let's get this thing on. So if I were to mount it on the handlebars with the included bracket, I feel like it would just kind of get in the way, especially with something plugged into it. So I decided that I'm gonna put it right here next to the indicator lights. It might be a little bit more tricky to plug something in, but it shouldn't be too bad. To mount this thing on there, I'm just gonna use some Scotch extremely strong fasteners. It says it holds 10 pounds. It's like Velcro on steroids. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the front plastic with a big Phillips screwdriver, just so you're able to see a little bit better. First thing you wanna do is clean the surface areas with an alcohol prep pad and let that dry. Next, I'm just gonna grab one of these fastener pieces, line it up, and cut it to fit. The nice thing about these versus actual Velcro is that they're all the same and you don't need like two different ones. So it looks like I should take a little bit off the top as well. That's perfect. Then you just peel the backing off and hold that down for about 30 seconds. Fix up a nicely fitting piece to stick on the instrument cluster and hold that for about 30 seconds as well. Then I'm just gonna grab a USB cord, thread it through right here, just plug it in. And this is just so I can line it up. Right about there seems good. Check that out, holds it on there nicely. It's super easy to take off. You just have to get it at the right angle. I can always adjust it later if I need to. It'll be a little bit more tricky to plug stuff in, but I don't think it'll be too bad. And then take the end of the cord and fish it down next to the main front harness. And then I'll just throw a zip tie on. Next, go ahead and remove the rear seat by unbolting the two 10mm bolts on the bottom. There's a suction cup on the front you have to pull up on, and then the back pulls up and it slides out to the rear. To take off the tank, I'm gonna go ahead and remove both of the side plastic panels. Then I'm gonna push back the clamp and remove the top part of the fuel hose. It's good to have a rag to catch any gasoline that may spill out. Definitely not a bad idea to wear some safety glasses. I also like to put a little plastic baggie over the fuel hose just to prevent any dirt from getting in there. Then I'm just gonna remove this 10mm bolt. The gas tank should lift up in the back and then it should slide right out to the rear. Next, I'm gonna remove this cable holder and then thread this through under my tank bag straps. Make sure this goes in here with all the other wires. Then I just stick the belt back on. And a very important thing you want to make sure of is that this has plenty of slack when it's moved all the way to the left, because the last thing you would want is this to prevent the steering from moving properly. And then moving further back, it's the same thing with this one. And I'm just gonna route it underneath here. And then I'm gonna zip tie it to this harness. And then again to this wire. I would zip tie it to the frame, but this is actually where the seat sits right here. And check that out, it's like the perfect length. I hate when the cables are too long and you have to bunch them all up and stuff them in here somewhere. So like I said earlier, I already have an SAE connector installed on here. It's just stuffed down in there, so it's easy to access from the outside. They actually installed this at the dealership so they could keep it on a battery tender. But I actually ended up putting a lithium battery in here and I installed it over a year ago and I've had no issues and I've never had to put it on a tender or charge it or anything. It just starts every time. And If you want to see a video more about that, I'll leave a little card right here. You can go check that out if you want. But to install one of these SAE connector harnesses, it's really simple. You always disconnect the negative side first completely, and then you connect it to the positive, and then you connect it to the negative side. And it should have an inline fuse as well. Then obviously, super simple. You just take off the covers and connect it. And then the caps, just connect them together. Just keep them from flopping around. Then I'll just stuff this underneath here and it should be good to go. And of course, before I put everything back together, definitely want to try it out. Turn it on and check that out, 13.5 volts. The lithium batteries are a bit higher on the voltage side than the lead acid. And of course, I want to make sure we're getting power to the USB. Plug that in. Then I'll just plug it into my phone. Check that out, it works. And another interesting thing is that when you got something plugged into here, it'll tell you how many amps it's drawing. Looks like it's 0.98 amps, and the max you can pull out of here is 2.1. And also, supposedly it has a lot of electronic protection in here, like overcurrent protection and short circuit and stuff like that. And just to make sure this thing is accurate, I'll just hook up a multimeter. 13.24, and this is saying it's 13.2. Perfect. Oh, and also, it's not a bad idea to test it all out before you put it on the bike. Just make sure it works, just in case you have to end up sending it back. And then go ahead and reassemble the bike in reverse order. I'll just go ahead and start it up. Turn it on. Looks like it's a 14.1 volts. That's pretty good. It's definitely nice to be able to see your voltage, especially if you have some like aftermarket stuff like lights or some grip heaters and stuff like that. Not exactly sure how long it'll last, but if I have any issues with it, I'll be sure to let you guys know down in the comment section. So apparently it has a 180-day warranty, which is pretty cool. And check this out. On the back it reads, "Hi dear, thank you for bringing me to your side, smiley face. I will try my best to make you happy. Please give me 5 stars if you like me." Not gonna lie, that's pretty creepy. And there's definitely a lot of different ones you can get. You can get them with 2 USB ports or with and without the voltage display. And you don't have to get it with a power switch. It just depends on what your needs are and how you're gonna use it. And if you wanted to, you could always put it on a relay or a switched power source. I kind of like having the switch to turn it on and off even when the bike isn't powered on, so you can just check the voltage of the battery really quick. It's definitely useful if you have a lead acid battery, so you know if you need to put it on a tender or not. But of course, if it's wired like this, you just gotta remember to turn it off manually every time you turn off the key. Anyways, guys, I hope you found this video useful. And of course, if you wanna see more TW200 how-to videos, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.